So let's let the pictures tell the start of the story, okay? So first we see that the Wangs are getting ready to go camping.
Okay, so we're at the very first stage, putting things in the car and getting everything ready. In fact, the next picture shows that Mr. Wang is packing the car and the boys are helping him. Now, I've got, like I said yesterday, I have two brothers, and if the three of us tried to help my dad pack the car, we wouldn't really be helping at all. We'd probably be getting in the way and doing it wrong. Pack the car here is like packing your suitcase. So pack your suitcase, you put things in it. Pack the car, put all the big bags and other things in the car.
Right. So Timmy asks Mr. Wang, Dad, what should we pack into the car first? So just in case you're not familiar, like you said, packing is to put stuff into a bag or a car. Yeah, and it's to get ready for a trip.
Okay, well, to be honest, we always let my dad pack the car. He's very good at it. He's good at spaces and getting things in to fit. But he also gets stressed if other people try. He gets a bit like, you're not doing it right.
You have to do it his way?
We have to do it his way completely. We can carry heavy things, but when it comes to putting them in the car, it's all him. Mr. Wang, he's directing things. He says we need to put the big items in first, like the cooler.
Okay.
So here he used the word items, and item, spelled I-T-E-M, item is any single thing, especially one that's part of a set, a group, or a collection. Okay, for example, you are not allowed to put certain items in your suitcase when you travel on a plane. Okay, you say nothing sharp, or maybe no computer batteries in the suitcase, or spray things, other things like that.
No, like a lot of like liquid stuff. Like there's a limit to that too.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So we also saw the word cooler. Cooler. C-O-O-L-E-R. Cooler. You might be able to guess the meaning from the sound of the word cooler.
More cool than.
Cool.
No, it's a noun. It's not an adjective.
But it kind of sounds, well, it kind of explains it. Well, a cooler keeps things cold, okay? So, you definitely need a cooler in the summer, especially when you go to the beach, right?
Yeah, you put your drinks or your food in it to stop it getting too hot and going bad. Mr. Wang has some more suggestions for what comes next. He says, then we'll put the stove in, and finally the backpacks.
Okay.
So a stove, S-T-O-V-E, stove, is a thing used either for heating a room or for cooking, and it works by burning wood or coal or oil or gas. Here we're talking about a smaller one that you could take on a camping trip. It's probably about sort of that big.
Can you imagine if he took the whole stove from the kitchen?
No, that's not going to work. So he's talking about a small camping stove that just has fire on the top and you can put something small on it. But when we're talking about a big stove, here's another example. Valerie is heating up the soup on the stove. Valerie is heating up the soup on the stove.
Okay, so they will also put their backpacks in the car, right? A backpack is a bag that has two shoulder straps that you carry on your back, okay? Let's take a look at our example sentence. Guys, don't be like George, okay? Because this example sentence says, George forgot to put his homework in his backpack. George forgot to put his homework in his backpack.
Silly George. So we often have backpacks for school, especially when we travel, that kind of thing. It's spelled B-A-C-K-P-A-C-K, all one word, okay?
Right.
Now, we can also see from the next picture in the comic that only half of the trunk is filled. The trunk is what we call the back part of the car where you put bags and other heavy things. In the UK, we call it a boot. Yep, it's the boot of the car. But in the US, they say trunk.
Yeah. So Mrs. Wang then asks Mr. Wang, have you put the tent in yet? That's pretty important, right?
Kind of important. You
kind of need to go camping. I mean, you kind of need a tent to go camping, right?
Yeah, you need something to sleep inside. What are we talking about when we say tent?
Tent. T-E-N-T, tent. A tent is what you stay in when you go camping, okay? It's made with a type of cloth, and then it's held up by ropes and poles. So it's usually kind of like a triangular shape.
Yeah, it's got a kind of point in the middle at the top, which helps the rain kind of run off the side of it.
Let's put the word tent in a sentence. I put the sleeping bags in the tent. I put the sleeping bags in the tent.
Yeah, it's going to keep you dry. It's kind of like having a small little house. Oh dear. So no tents.
No tents.
No tents.
Right.
Looks like things are going wrong already. Mr. Wang says, I forgot about that. It's still in the garage, okay? Now, I pronounce that word slightly differently. Again, it's a UK thing. We also say garage, right?
Garage, yeah.
I have trouble saying it that way. Garage. Garage, garage, okay? Anyway, however you say it, it's a building for keeping one or more cars or other vehicles in. Okay, you go and park your car in it to keep it dry. You can keep other things that are quite big in there if you don't want them in the house. For example, we could say the garage is big enough to park 2 cars. The garage is big enough to park 2 cars.
Okay, so Grandpa has a feeling Mr. Wang might have forgotten something else too,
dear.
okay? Because the trunk is a little bit empty for a camping trip. So he says, what about the sleeping bags?
Oops.
Okay, so what is a sleeping bag? Well, it's a large warm bag that you sleep in, especially when you go camping. It keeps you warm. It's really like a bag that you kind of go in. But I actually don't really like it. I feel trapped in it, like I can't move.
Because they need to take up just a small amount of space and you roll them up to carry them around. So when you're inside them, you don't have a lot of room for your arms and legs. Okay, Mr. Wang says, they're in the garage with the tent. He's left them behind too.
So those are probably the 2 most important things you need when you go camping. Okay, so this isn't going to work at all. And I'm not the only one who thinks so, actually. Mrs. Wang says, how do we go camping without a tent or sleeping bags? Are they going to sleep in the car?
It's a good question, but the pictures are going to move the story forward a bit, and we now see that everyone is ready to go, and Paige is the last one to take her seat in the car.
Okay, so she says, Mom, you forgot the sunscreen. So Mr. Wang wasn't the only person forgetting things. Mrs. Wang forgot the sunscreen.
Right.
So sunscreen is a lotion you apply to prevent sunburn. And it also protects against harmful rays called UVA and UVB. I'm sure you guys have heard of that. And these rays, UVA, UVB, can cause cancer.
They can. So you want to protect yourself with the sunscreen, and so you can go out in the sun and you won't burn. Now, Mrs. Wang is pretty embarrassed by this. Oh my goodness, she's lost face, and she says... She has. She says, thank goodness you remembered. And this phrase, thank goodness, is an expression that shows we are relieved that something bad didn't happen. For example, thank goodness we brought enough money with us to pay for our train tickets.
Oh, yeah. Otherwise, you'd be stuck in the train station.
You would be.
Okay, so these problems aren't over yet, though, because Mr. Wang says, where are mac and cheese?
Oh, Grandpa Wang.
Grandpa Wang says, where are mac and cheese?
Is that what they're having for dinner? No, wait.
Didn't they bring
mac and cheese are the dogs.
Yeah.
Mac and cheese are the dogs. I was wondering where they were. Paige knows where they are. She says, oh no, they're still in the house.
Oh my goodness. Why is everything going wrong?
Oh no.
Oh my gosh, no wonder Grandpa says, it looks like our trip is off to a bad start.
Okay, off to a bad start. That sounds like an interesting phrase.
It actually sounds exactly like what it means, which it means to begin something badly.
I see.
For example, say I was in a race, okay?
You're in a race.
And I'm getting ready to run.
Okay.
And as soon as someone yells start,
go.
I fall down.
Ah.
I would say the race is off to a bad start.
Yes, yeah,
Right?
you're probably behind all the other runners. Okay.
I might have hurt myself. I might not be able to run anymore.
Okay.
Actually, this sounds like something I would do.
Right,
Yeah.
so that is off to a bad start. Like this camping trip, they are off to a bad start. They nearly forgot the tents. They nearly forgot the sleeping bags. They nearly forgot the sunscreen, and they did forget the dogs.
They did.
Who are probably sitting in the living room looking out the window going kind of, oh,
Where's the family going?
where is everybody going? Now, I've got a feeling that this story is not going to get any better. I think they're going to have a lot of bad luck on this trip. However, we will have to continue this story in next month's Meet the Wangs, okay? Hopefully when they get somewhere. But for now, it's time to go to our wrap-up. So have you ever had a trip that got off to a bad start?
I haven't, but touch wood. Wood. Where's wood?
I'm Woods.
I've never, but I don't ever want that to happen.
Yeah, it happened to me.
Did it really?
I was going to Ireland with my friends, but I didn't quite finish packing and I slept through my alarm.
Oh no.
So I woke up with about an hour to get from my house to the airport. So I had to shove the last things in my bag and then I had to run and find a taxi. The taxi had to take me to an ATM because I didn't have the money.
Oh my goodness.
Because I'd missed the group car we were all supposed to take to the place. We then drove very quickly to the airport, and I just made it to the airport as they were announcing our names over the system saying, please can you hurry up and get on the plane.
Really? They let you check in?
They just let us get in there.
Wow, you're lucky.
You know, maybe 15 minutes before the plane was going to leave. So we kind of got off to a bad start. However, it all worked out and we had a great time.
Did it? Okay, that's good.
All right, that's the end of our lesson for today. Come back again next time. But for now, for A+ English, I'm Pat.
I'm Angeline.
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.